All right, everything should be all set now. Should be good to go. Gonna start off by doing some dailies out here in Bel Insel on the champ, just to get some protos killed real quick and see who's shouting in LFF chat looking for groups for what. Ideally, what I'd like to be able to get would be a featured instance group or two on a couple of characters would be nice. And then goof off a bit on the back end of tonight, but we'll see how many people are really running stuff. The Ill Omens event is still wrapping up, so there's a couple days left where people are trying to get their last couple of skirmish runs in, anybody who's trying to finish that event. And the featured instance is also Glingant, which not everybody's gonna be running. Oh, hopefully I can get the tag on this just in time. That was lucky. But yeah, we'll see how many people are really running the FIs this week, just because I don't know that too many people really enjoy running Glingant. There are people who will run it because it's there. But I don't think I've ever heard anybody say, man, I love this place. So it might be thin on the ground as far as getting groups. And nice, I've got this lore master here, which will, at the very least for this, and maybe she'll join me for the crab as well. See if we get a little group going. Follow me. Oh, and they're riding their war steed out here, which is just a recipe for flinging yourself off cliffs, but hey. And we'll wait on the crab, it ain't that big of a deal. Although one thing I found funny was that I saw the lore master look over in that little shipwreck area there, which makes me wonder if they haven't played the Bel Insel dailies in a while, because that used to be where the crab spawned. Oh, nice. We got 4 of us here waiting, 2 of them being lore masters. Somebody has the involuntary emotes turned off and the other 2 cheered. Gotta love the skills like that. I also really have to wonder about anybody who hasn't renamed their pet. Like, this person's Bog Guardian is just named Bog Guardian. Like, come on. Gotta name him something silly. Scuzzlebutt here, I have to say, is the superior Bog Guardian. You know, I don't like to call a lore master out, but you can do better. So these fights should be interesting. There's 2 lore masters, a red line mini, and me. Ooh, one of the lore masters is blue line because there's murder of crows. Very nice. While I do still miss Sikkim, that ability did lag things to high hell, so Murder of Crows is an acceptable substitute. It's still neat. It just doesn't have quite the same style points that Sikkim did. Okay, here's 1, 2, and 3. So everybody should be able to get the tag. And all I have left is the bird. But I'll wait and see if these people are going to circle back around to the tree, because they might have gone salamander first, and if they're doing tree last, I will definitely stick with them and help them out. I don't mind helping out folks doing their dailies out here and adding just a little bit of DPS to make things go quicker. Yeah, both these folks look like they're going up the hill looking for the tree, so I will tag along, and there's a whole handful of people here. Wow. So technically, these guys are all going to be just fine without my help, but hey. Make this go real quick. Like bordering on ridiculously quick. Well, there's somebody actually doing dual wield champion at 150. You don't see that all that often. Very cool.
Greetings, kind traveler. It is a fine day indeed. It is a fine day indeed. Greetings, kind traveler. Fair winds to you.
So there's my 5 bounty dailies done, and there is nobody in LFF chat tonight. Which doesn't, again, terribly surprise me. I played some during lunch, just doing running around, and I saw one person putting a group together, or looking to put a group together for Glingant. I don't think they got above 3 people. So that might just ultimately be a miss. So I'm going to take the champion back to Bree because it is a quick stable point for the next thing that I want to do. I mean, relatively quick, because I got to go from West Bree to South Bree.
What do you need?
And then from South Bree, I'll be able to take the Stable Master to Rivendell.
What can I do for you?
Not accidentally choose the Vales of Anduin Stable Master point there, which I do probably a quarter of the time from there. And all this time I am still keeping an eye on World Chat and LFF Chat to see if anybody's saying anything about featured instances, and it is dead quiet in there tonight. Might have something to do with the fact that the discussion is mostly talking about cricket. So what I'm heading to do here is a little bit of an easy cheat for moving along one of the wrappers. And this is just one of those things that I like doing when I can. Every week you potentially have 2 different mission wrappers. So in addition to the weekly delving quests, you also have weekly mission quests. One will be to complete 15 missions for the week, which this character has already completed, and one will be to complete 45, and these reset on Thursdays with the server resets. And each one, if you complete your 15 and your 45, each one will give you a choice of a mission box, crafting materials, legendary item materials, or character boosts, 1500 virtue XP, a teal enhancement rune, and 500 embers of enchantment if you're a level cap character, or 500 motes of enchantment if you're not a cap character. So doing at least your 15 mission weekly every week on as many characters as you can is just a huge bump in your embers or motes. And this guy right here in Rivendell does the Further Adventures of Bilbo Baggins quests. 2 of these quests, Chapter 1 and Chapter 7, so Chapter 1, Chapter 7. These 2 quests you can do in a couple of minutes apiece with no combat. So these are your, because Chapter 1 is basically your lead-in to the Bilbo Baggins quests. And Chapter 7, you find the location for the hidden key in Chapter 6, if you were paying attention there, which means you don't have to fight anything. You can just go get the key. So these 2 missions, like run one of them each day, are the perfect things to run if you are, lunch break, whatever it is where you want to get some missions done, but you have a limited amount of time to do so. Just pop in and run these 2. And on each character, if you run these 2 missions and one of any other mission daily, that's 15 missions. So you can get your wrapper done with almost no effort. For Chapter 1, really all you have to do is let is let these two finish their conversation, talk to Elrond, and then go check in with 3 of the other NPCs here. Check in with Arwen. Run all the way back down here to the bridge, check in with Glorfindel, who also hasn't seen Bilbo. And then check in with Elro here. And then tell Elrond, nope, nobody's seen him. And that's the mission. So that is one of the 2 quick, no-effort missions to run. And Chapter 7 is when you're further along in the story, where you're going to get into Goblin Town. And in Chapter 6, you learned the location of the hidden key to the gate. So all we have to do is let our buddy here distract the goblins. And then run right in, pick up the key, and open the gate. So there he goes. He's going to go distract the goblins for us and clear our way in to search for the key and open the gate to Goblin Town. So he's got them going up the hill. As soon as the last one's out of sight, you can leave the camp. If you leave early, you can actually fail the no combat quest, which is kind of embarrassing. This rock right here, the 3rd rock in the row of 3, is the one where you were told the key is. So you just go grab the key and unlock the gate. And that's the end of that. So, if nothing else, those 2 missions every day and just one random other mission takes you about 5-6 minutes, and doing that will give you your first mission wrapper. Hey, Gunman, how's it going, man? I was just going over a quick and easy cheat for the mission wrappers.
Could I speak with you a moment?
But yeah, yeah, and that's exactly what I was saying, is because if you got a level cap character, you're 15 and 45 per week. I mean, 15 is easy to do per week. and getting your 500 embers of enchantment or 500 motes of enchantment plus all the rest of the rewards is, you know, like that's solid. And if you do the the further adventures of Bilbo Baggins out in Rivendell, chapters 1 and chapter 7 there are 0 combat missions, and they're really quick. So, you know, you can do them while you're watching something on the other screen. I log in and do them during lunch, and just doing those 2 per day on your character and 1 other random mission. There's your 15 weekly for your first wrapper.
Would you do something for me?
So I'm going to take a look and see what the malices are for the delvings today. See if it's actually worth doing them. And Net and Glade is always a good one to test that on. Yeah, I like to cherry pick my missions, honestly. Some of them definitely drag, whereas others you can go through right quick. Net and Glade, the one I'm in right now, isn't one of the quicker ones, but it is one of the more easily controllable ones for running with delving difficulty. Okay, so let's see what we have. So thick hide, so they've got damage reduction of just 50% across the board. And explosive devastation, which means when the enemies die, I get set on fire. And I would expect a 3rd malice, which I haven't seen yet. So I'm going to guess somebody, yep, there we go. Ground effect fire. So this is not a bad set of malices, actually. None of these in combo are going to make this into a I just don't want to do delvings today. Yeah, when you get the ones where you get a combo of damage reflect, debilitating miasma, and buffing the enemies around them, like the cluster buffs. Those are always fun when you just get the really unfortunate combinations. Like this one here, obviously, as long as it's only 1 puddle of fire, I run enough mitigations that I can just stand in the fire. Yes, that was heavily air quoted fun. I'm glad you picked up on that. Still hoping that I find people in LFF or World Chat putting together a featured instance group tonight, but it is looking thin on the ground there. So that just might not be on the table, which doesn't terribly surprise me. As much as I would like to get some run, it is Glingant, which means that not a lot of people are going to be putting together groups. How did I not run into you before? I ran right past here. But, and I'm going to see here, I think this character has basically done...
Greetings.
Yeah, I've done all of my delving wrappers aside from the 3 and 6. So I'm probably actually going to... So I'm definitely not going to do 20 more missions tonight. That ain't happening. Think what I am gonna do right quick is, because I've already done the Bel Inzel bounties on him, I'm gonna pop over to my captain and do the same. Get some missions and bounties run on that captain, because again, badly need gear over there. And I don't think I've hit the wrapper on her yet. If Lotro decides it wants to respond. There we are. And worst case scenario, if no groups come together, I've got bounties, and then I still have my mini going through Gundabad, who is coming right towards the end of the storyline. So things are about to start flying together for that one. Do I have any travel skills on this character to get? No place good. Well, I can go to Dol Amroth. Oh, no. I can go to Voyage's End. Here I should be able to...
Kind traveler.
Oh, come on, seriously? Do I not have Bel Inzel discovered on this character even? I could swear I'd been out there.
Ah, fair winds to you.
Wow. So here's where I have the strong suspicion that I got to the island on this character and absolutely and utterly failed to grab the Dockmaster while I was there. It is possible that I just never got this character out to the island, but I really thought I had. Yeah, I know, right? None of us ever do something like that. The more I'm thinking about it, the more this character just literally might not have gotten out there. But thankfully it is a more or less straight shot once you get actually out of Halrax. I'm also remembering I'm pretty sure that I left her in a healing spec, which means I don't want to stop and fight any of these things as is. And with any luck, I'll find a group of people at the bounty board doing bounties that I can tag along with, so that I don't have to swap back over to red and see if I even actually have a built LI for her. Because soloing as a blue captain is right up there with soloing as a yellow captain. Yeah, you can do it, but why? Yeah, so here's absolutely where I'm going to get to Bel Inzel, and it probably proved true that I've just never took this character here, is going to be my guess. That's what happens when you start mixing your characters up. Yep, because I see a quest ring on the Dockmaster, so...
Fair winds to you.
Oi.
Alright, could have been worse. Now, wait and see if anybody is also looking like they're riding out. I don't see anybody gathering here. So I'm going to go take a peek down by the salamander, because lately that seems to be most people's starting point for their rotation. I think it's gone from the tree back to the salamander. I swear that seems to just kind of come and go as far as what people are using as their starting point. Okay, still not seeing anybody show up here, so let's see. Let's see how it truly oh, there we go. There's somebody. Excellent. And they're going back to town because they ran this place backwards. Well, that might explain some things. There's always one joker in the crowd that has to run things fully opposite to what anybody else does. No tree up, so gonna go check the crab, see if I get lucky. And I'm still keeping an eye on LFF and World Chat just to see if anybody's putting anything together. So far, still no dice. Alright, let's see how annoying the crab is going to be. This might just be one where I sit here and outlast the stupid thing. Ah, very nice. If I might ask, what are you cooking? Again, always be a food nerd. That is a solid weeknight comfort food. Very nice. What do you got in the fridge? I've got stuff to make a stir fry. That used to be a really regular thing with some roommates and I way back when. Yep, exactly. And you can use up basically anything you got hanging around. There we go. These people show up in time to help out. So that is truly a comedy fight on the blue captain because it just literally cannot nudge my health bar or the or my archers, but I just chip away at it. That was. So it's good to know that I can pull that off if I want, but I'm really glad that a couple of DPS showed up. Because I don't want to do that for all of these mobs. Now, I think if I remember right, they made it so that Captain Splash Healing doesn't go out of the group like it used to. So I don't think wow, that dude just one-shotted my horse. But my archer one-shotted him. I think they made it so that the Captain Splash Healing doesn't heal out of group people, so I don't think I was technically healing them in that fight, which is kind of a bummer. I liked it when you used to be able to heal everybody around you regardless of group. So we got a champ and obviously a burglar because they just went invisible. Yeah, so I'm going to test out Rallying Cry. Yep, it is only in party. Harumph. Good grief, does this just pump out a lot of heals as Splash. And as long as I don't use Gift of Spirit more than once every now and then, it's actually not terribly power hungry. That was one of the things I was afraid of, because I know that in the past, blue captain builds could be really power hungry. Of course, this is also more of a support blue build than a like full main tank healer blue build. So that might change if I was throwing in a lot of what is our direct heal? Muster Courage. No, Muster Courage is Words of Courage. I think if I was making heavy use of Words of Courage, that might eat more of my power than expected, which actually reminds me, that needs to be way more accessible on this bar layout now. That 807 power cost would easily start adding up. Alright, at least one of them followed me here for the tree, and I have the sneaking feeling that the burglar might be hanging around as well. All burgly. Yep, there he is. And there's our tree. Yeah, now I'm really thinking it would be nice if I could get a featured instance group with this character. It would be nice to see just what the support healing is really like. So I still don't know I would want to be the only or the primary healer on a full blue captain, but it would be really interesting to see what I could do as the healer slash buffer in a larger group.
Greetings, kind traveler. It is a fine day indeed. Oi! Fair winds to you. Oi!
Alright, so that's that. Let's see, do I still have a red build put together? Okay, good, I do. Does it even look halfway decent? Yeah, good virtue layout. And do I have a... Okay, so it's most of the way built. Could be worse. And I'm going to Rivendell anyway, so I can pick up 2 more words of mastery. Should be good. So that's almost a plan that came together. Closest thing, Bree. I would really like to be able to take this character and run them blue line in some group content and see how well that goes, because after the captain change with the last revamp, supposedly blue is really viable, and from what I was seeing there, throws out a lot of heals. So that would be neat to see how well that does. But again, for when I'm doing this this kind of stuff, not taking anyone along with me, it's all back to redline.
How can I be of service?
So, quick detour actually into the last homely house. And I'm going to head into the word horde. Because I apparently have 2 unfilled slots on my red line LI for this character, and I'd like to do something about that. And equip that now so that I don't forget. So I need 2 words of mastery. And I've already got pressing attack, grave wound, cutting attack, and battle ready damage buff. So let me pull out some legendary boxes to get some script. I am probably just going to buy a couple of yellows, because all I'm really looking to do here is fill that slot. Well, actually, I have enough boxes that I can buy. I should be able to buy some purples. Had more script than I thought I did coming out of these. Alright, now the other thing I need to do is make sure that I don't get any of the words of mastery that I already have in my Captain class item, because that would be a waste of script. So I'm looking for 141. Lead the charge, right? Yes, lead the charge. Oh, that's right, but the lead the charge traceries are mostly garbage. It's time of need buff duration. Which actually I should get this one because it's going to force me to actually remember and get better about using time of need in my rotation. So this was a purchase literally to make me not forget that that exists. Shadow's Lament, however, I never use in my rotation. I normally have better things to use. So we're going to, this has crit chance, so we're going to Devastating Blow and Pressing Attack damage, which I don't have in my regular one. No, so I don't have overlap here. All right, that should be okay. So there we go. None of the slots are leveled up past 500 on this LI. Mostly because I am leveling up my Captain class item first, because I use that in both my specs. That's where I have all of my general purpose traceries. So we're going to level that up first. And what do I want? Yeah, we'll go with some vitality, and we'll put some into the one that gives me tactical mitigation as well, because I am an absolute hog for tac mit. Because the longer I can stand in bad and not have to immediately move out of it, the better off I am. And usually that comes from having tactical mitigation. And if I recall correctly, this character is also really close. Yeah, 10 of 15 for the first mission wrapper. So, gonna knock that one out real quick.
I probably worry for nothing. When we find Bilbo, we will laugh long and well, but not before.
Let them do their back and forth talking where both of them come to the realization that they have lost a hobbit. Yeah, this character I apparently just did not do a whole lot on. see, how are my virtues looking? Okay, good. I've actually gotten them up to a decent spot on this character. This is actually one of my oldest characters on the server from a good number of years back in the days where it was in the new virtue system, but you didn't get to yet pick most of the places that you were getting your virtue XP for your deeding. It just, whatever deed you completed had its specific virtue that it would put XP towards. And so consequently, she's got stuff just all over the damn place because this character hit level 100 or so before the revamp that let you actually select where your virtue XP was going. But luckily, I was able to correct that largely by virtue of, pun fully intended, saving up virtue XP pots from doing mission wrappers and things like that just over time. And during the last 20% virtue XP bonus event, just dumping a ton of those virtue pots into all of my characters that had scattered or terrible virtues to get them back into shape. Alright, there's my 2 quick and easy ones done. And knowing that Net and Glade is up in Andrath, that's an easy one to pop in and nab too. Question is, do I have a delving wrapper on this character? I do. I have the high tier. So we will run Net and Glade on tier 6. So that'll let me progress the mission wrapper and the delving wrapper. I've got buffs running enough to at least get a couple of kills before I have to refresh them. And as has always been the case with this character, especially when I'm in Redline, it is not a me show. It really is just me supporting my archer, who is by far the coolest member of this group. She is way cooler than I am. I really just show up and buff the archer. Alright, so all that talk about remembering that I actually was going to use Time of Need in my rotation, and I still have yet to use it once. So I am absolutely succeeding here. This is solid. I need to put this someplace that is just more usable, but also someplace that my fucked up hands can reach the key to quickly. I don't want it on Alt. Don't want it on Shift 4 either. I'm going to put that in Control 4. Let's see how that layout works. And my token just wore off, so I'm starting to get dread. Fix that right quick. Now we'll see if my idiot brain can actually remember that that's a thing that I need to use. So does it give the buff to... No, so it doesn't give the buff to my archer, probably because I'm in solo stance, I'm gonna guess. It'll be interesting to see what's you in battle readied. Okay, so it doesn't say anything about doing it to group or anything like that. So it looks like this is just a pure self buff. Still solid because that's 15 seconds plus I think the LI boost. Oh, actually, that is a good thing to remember. Lotro periodically has a bug where after you've leveled the tracery slots in your LIs, you don't necessarily actually get the stat bonuses until you unequip and re-equip your LIs. So it doesn't show the increased duration in the tooltip, but it is 15 seconds plus, is it time of need duration plus 9 time of need duration. Yeah. So that's 24 seconds of time of need, and that is basically 20% outgoing damage and extra crit damage as well. So that's something I absolutely have to be better at remembering to do, which is use that buff anytime it's off of cooldown and I'm in a fight that matters. Like this little dude, doesn't matter. But the Forest Queen, I should absolutely have that active for. Okay, and I think I already don't like where that is. I think I am going to put it right there next to my gallant display. That's always going to be an area that I'll be watching for cooldowns to come up, so that should encourage me to use it. That's my theory.
What do you need? Greetings.
Okay, and delving chest is Boxo crafting hides.
Would you do something for me?
So Bridge to Karanost with explosive decompression might actually be really comical, because this has some chance for me to absolutely blow my shit up. So this could go incredibly laughably badly here. This legitimately might be one where I end up switching to blue line and finishing it for just being indestructible. Oh, yep, because that went poorly. Got feared. Yeah, this is gonna kill me. This is absolutely gonna kill me. Okay. So, we're gonna make this into an outlast everything fight instead. It's one thing they definitely took away from captains in the revamp was Redline lost an absolute ass ton of our self-healing. So we picked up some solid damage overall, but our self-made sustain just vanished. So in something like this, where I have multiple sources of ground fire and explosive decompression, that's just a recipe for disaster. Alright, Archer, come catch up with me so you don't get stuck in the doorway. And go. I really wish that our stun and fear break actually worked on that that fear we get from that. Basically, there's nothing you can do if you let it go off. You're just kind of stuck sitting there. Right, now we have the always fun can a blue line captain win a fight versus a door? Granted, it's a door with delving toughness and all, but still. And my archer has gotten stuck. Seriously? Come on. You're gonna make me dismiss you, aren't you? Minor pathfinding issues happening. Alright, now I'm going to send the archer in and see if you can actually... Come on, can you pathfind your way through the door? There you are. One more door, and then we're home free. So yeah, that definitely confirms that, at least on the red line Cappy, this is not a good set of malices to do when there are packs of mobs. Because I just don't have the space to maneuver. But that's why we check. Okay. I might have let that one last longer than I should have. And by might have, I mean absolutely, definitely did. I just wanted to see how much of the fire I could stand in and pull off heals through. Turns out not quite as much as I thought. But all I have to do is run past these guys, because they will despawn when I get to the end. Okay, so after that piece of silliness, I am definitely not doing that again until this character actually has significantly better gear.
What do you need?
But it was amusing to at least try. So I need one more mission, and that will complete my 15 wrapper for the week.
Greetings, friend.
Let's take a peek at what's in Hearn.
Mind my words, traveler.
So the handout is a good solid one. And again, we're going to be silly and do it at tier 6, because dying's fun sometimes. I also think that this character is still using up not only old food, but old scholar scrolls as well. So apparently, all I've given my captain basically is hand-me-downs so far. But this place I should be able to more or less keep to solo and duo pulls. He says as somehow, some way, these guys all added from that side there. Not quite sure. I'm gonna blame the archer. But we got this. So that was 5 of the 16 Uruks, maybe a little bit quicker than I had planned on getting to that number. But so it goes. I really hope it's not going to make me go up the tower, but I think there's Uruks up in the tower. Not bad. And what did I say? Remember to use time of need. I remembered this time. Towards the end, but I remembered. Was going to take a break and heal up there, but apparently this dude had other plans. Alright, now I'm going to let the fire wear off and heal up some. Okay, I've got 3 left. I know there's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 1 on the right, 2 on the left. Not my ideal arrangement of orcs in here. See if I can get this guy out by himself. Nice. What I didn't want was all 3 of them at once. And thankfully I managed to avoid that. Right, there is all my rooks. I'm gonna go find the scout and get the heck out of here and collect my mission wrapper.
How can I be of service? Megovanen.
Right, so ready to advance on a mission weekly. Bam. 500 Embers of Enchantment puts me back up over 6K. Solid. That means it is time to park this character because they're at a good point on their mission wrapper. And check and see if the RK, the Hunter, or the Guardian is close on any of theirs as well. As soon as Lotro decides it wants to actually respond, we'll hit the RK. and see if I've got a wrapper left, and if so, how close I am. Ideally, I'd like to hit I'd like to see if I can get up to that 7K mark on Embers. Not sure how realistic that is, because it's really easy to unfortunately leave wrappers at awkward spots. So let's see. Yeah, both mission wrappers are just at 4, so not a lot of progress there. And delvings are also not in a great spot. And I didn't put my task item carry-all back into storage, so I am definitely winning there. See who also? There's a whole handful of people online.
Greetings, kind traveler.
But I'll grab the bounties and see who's running them out here. This mini is definitely doing them, so let's just... I have a feeling that's going to be a group invite coming in. There we go. 3 of us should make nice quick work of these bounties. Two RKs and a mini, so we have a lot of blowing stuff up potential here. We're just gonna ping pong this thing aggro wise. But I think I crit more than the other RK does. And yes, I am the melee runekeeper. I know it's a bad habit, but it's going to come after me anyway. So I know if I'm going to be the one drawing aggro, I usually like to stand close enough that I'm not pulling the enemy out of my runestones and this guy's runestones. It looks like we have somebody meeting us at the beast. We picked up another. Or at the bird, rather. Oh, the RK is already pulling, so... hopefully we... okay, looks like the captain is close enough that they'll get credit. And what that mini just did is why I fucking hate it when people don't fight on the rock. Because you pulled the bird away from all of our ground AoEs that we had set up. Because you had to stand far away. Just don't be that person. Alright, and I have the sneaking feeling that this, the captain who came in late, yep, they definitely still need the salamander and probably still the crab. So, I'm gonna go play helper, because it's nice.
Fair winds to you. It is a fine day indeed. Hoy. Ah, greetings, kind traveler. Greetings, kind traveler.
Alright, so now I'm going to take a quick peek and see where... I'm going to take a peek and see where my Guardian and my Hunter are on their wrappers. See if either one of them is anywhere close to being good. So it would be nice if I could get to that 7K goal. But that ultimately might not be realistic tonight. I might just have some, a bunch of characters who are way early in their wrappers for the week. And sometimes that is just how it goes. So let's see, the Hunter. Yeah. No, I haven't been doing missions at all on the Hunter apparently because he still has his from before 150. So that is a solid no-go. Which means I'm going to check the Guardian because I do run missions more regularly on that character. All right, what do we got? Some truly, truly terrible completion there. Wow. Apparently I started running missions on this character and then completely abandoned that. So nobody who's even close in any good fashion to finishing up another wrapper. So that's a bummer. Which means it's back to minstrel leveling. So do some finishing up of stuff in Gundabad. So where I need to go now is... I've got the travel skill to get to Noblegate. And I'd go uncheck those. And I need to get back down to the hidden chambers, so I need to go into Bargstad as my next destination. Because that is where I will pick the main quest back up. Okay, so Barg's Dad, Pit of Stone Jaws. And then the joy of dodging mobs all along the road up here. Thankfully, unlike last time I was here, these guys should all be some shade of blue, light or dark, which means it won't be quite as much of a pain as dodging them when they're yellow or orange. Don't mind me, just passing through, wandering minstrel. Why are you shooting me? I'm just here to play music and entertain. There we go, sneaking through all crafty-like. Okay, well, I didn't make it all the way through. What's up, Poteen? I mean, it is usually my fault. Like, let's be honest. We know this. Nope, next turn is the one I want. Yeah, I was really hoping tonight to make it to 7K embers, but I did not have nearly as many characters as far along on their weekly wrappers as I thought I did. So that's going to have to be some off-stream grinding on those. Just crank out a bunch of missions. Okay, so through here I should be able to get back into the secret passageway. Because the altar has slid aside when the mosaic was finished correctly by Fastreth, not by Stolly. And the hammer was replaced. So back down I go. Well, enjoy that run. I mean, that's responsible for some given definition of responsible, right? A popular parent. It's gone well. I've got my captain. I've been working on getting a blue line spec put together for and testing out, seeing where it falls into the indestructible versus still solo camp. So that's the fallback plan. That makes sense. Yeah, my captain's at a weird point gear-wise where Redline's healing got hit with the nerf bat hard enough that I can't pull off nasty stuff in Redline necessarily. At least not without several gear upgrades. But blue is just so slow. Even though the healing output is kind of stupid. So it was I was doing one of the bounties out on Bel Inzel, the island where you run around killing the proto beasts, and the crab couldn't even really touch me, but at the same time I was just like hitting it with a wet noodle. All right, since I am safe here real quick. Yeah, there we go. I can type. I have a feeling that anybody lurking in here already knows who Poteen is, but just in case.
I say again, to us, villain. Only cowards hide behind such a veil of deception.
Alright, so now we're going to pick back up where we were before. So Durin and I found the secret chamber down here. There was a creepy breeze as we were about to leave, and the statue of Motsog, the traitor here, or the betrayer, I believe, turned from a statue into a still not living but very lifelike statue without a beard. So we're investigating. Fixed text size, and our quest is to remain on our guard. As Durin tries to figure out just what the heck is going on.
The statue of the traitor is so lifelike. Is this a tomb? I can almost hear him. But how can I know the sound of the traitor's words? The bearer of that voice died long ago. And yet, I am put in mind of the anvil of Winterstith, and of a voice that spoke through the ice. It spoke of dwarves long dead, and of great deeds. It was the voice of a dwarf, not a dragon. It was the voice of a friend, courteous, but stern.
It was I who spoke to you.
Uh-oh, now it's talking. Things are getting creepier.
Little sorcery! Explain yourself, villain!
Sorcery, aye, but not of the sort you fear. This is the work of the first crafter.
Lies!
I would not speak falsely to you, Durin, my friend.
And yet you bear the visage of Motsog the traitor! How do you know my name?
I know you for my friend Durin, for I have seen you in all your guises during my long sleep. Your outward form does not hide you from the sight of my dream.
You say you know me. So too do I know you. Motsog the traitor, leader of the Grey Mauls, father of treachery. Why should I trust your words?
I have seen much you have forgotten. I will show these sights to you, that you may remember them.
What do you think?
I think things are about to get weird, is what I think. All right, so we're going to witness the visions that the stranger, who is clearly Motsog the traitor, or a facsimile of him, wants to show Durin. And he's calling Durin his friend. I mean, it's not quite toad-licking weird here, but it is weird, obscure dwarf lore is about to happen. So this should be familiar.
That is Durin the Sixth. We have to help him.
There is no help we can provide, my friend. This was to be your end.
Clomp, clomp, clomp.
Every dwarf knows the tale, but this vision is so lifelike.
Oh man, Balrog wings is a divisive topic. So they called it Durin's Bane, but I knew it by another name in another age. So here Mozog is saying that, again, he knew the Balrog as Askadurs long ago. Like, I know Lotro gave the Balrog in-game wings because it came after the Peter Jackson movie, and that had wings on the Balrog, so Lotro basically had to.
Slayer of the dragon Sauron.
Well, here we're at another Durin, and him fighting a dragon.
So you were, and yet. The dragon was also your end.
So Mozog here is continually referring to all these Durins as you when he's talking to our Durin. Because so far he's shown us Durin the 5th and Durin the 6th. The fate of Durin in every age in which he appears. Dying to some basically heroic stand against a massive foul creature.
Durin the Fourth came to the aid of the last alliance in distant Mordor.
Yeah, that's appealing. I'd live there, you know. It's got curb appeal.
How is it you beheld this?
The first crafter gave to me the dreaming sight. I have seen all your victories and all your defeats.
Again, that continually referring to Durin as having been Durin. Yeah, see, I can definitely see that. I don't have the passage right to mind, but the description of the description of the wings was something very much along the lines more of them being shadows cast, and that can be literal shadows. It can be a presence. Like it was very clearly not legitimately meaning wings.
Deeds you accomplished in that war, my friend. But this was the last. Retreating into Casa Doom and sealing the doors.
And it is cool to see just this little bit of the, because this is the first hall in Khazad-dûm. Like you can see, this is where it would have gone through, ultimately into Lothlorien. And you could see that, like, here's here's just a little bit that they were able to do with the texturing and lighting and everything they had that they could use in their tool set by the time that Gundabad was new. Like, man, can you just imagine if they went back and redid Moria all, like, looking this nice? Wishful thinking. Motsog says, it's always been difficult for me to see these trials, unable to intervene. Yeah, I mean, there's no way that Standing Stone Games is ever going to have the availability in their budget to do something like that. Like, Daybreak is never going to hand them a wad of cash and say, hey, go get somebody to retexture a level 50 zone when the level cap is 150. But it would be nice.
But you did, my friend.
You did, because that's you up there too. You are also Durin the Second.
Eyes of each ruler I have shown to you. Here it was that you offered Gundabad to the Shelruka.
Stop these visions! Put an end to this nonsense!
So we've gone back through, Durin after Durin after Durin, going further and further back, of Motsog showing our Prince Durin visions of past Durins.
Shaken, I confess it. I will not be swayed by honeyed words from an enemy's tongue.
Yeah, so he is still absolutely not convinced by Motsog because he knows Motsog as Motsog the traitor. And, there's all the legendary, the legend of the Grey Mauls, the betrayal, the reason why he, is shorn, whole thing. But he's starting to doubt.
Deny it. Durin, who was once my friend.
Once we were great friends and you trusted me with your kingdom, but I do not deny my treachery. So again, he's being straightforward here.
Once seen, it was by the Miramir that Durin's heart dwelt evermore. When he went there to live, it was I, Motsog. He left to rule Gundabad in his name. We had fought side by side against the creatures of Morgoth for many years. But it is as I said, his heart was captured by the lands he saw a-wandering.
So here we have our Durin and our beardless Motsog listening to bearded Motsog, original flavor, talking to Durin the First, and Durin the First is basically he's telling Motsog,
And I did not.
yep, he's telling Motsog, like, hey, there's this place Khazad-dûm, and we found truce over there. We found Mithril, and he's basically in favor of just upending and heading there. And Motsog's like, we have Gundabad. We have this right here.
Mithril.
So it was.
But Durin is the dwarfiest of dwarfs, and he had to go for the Mithril. And this is where he's talking about moving the dwarf people and founding Casa Doom. So Durin leaves Gundabad to Motsag, and he's headed off with his group of dwarves.
Not all of the Longbeards chose to follow Durin to the shore of Keled Zaram.
Yep. So this is where that rift started happening. But so far it's friendly. But because the dwarves have been split at this point, there's not as many dwarves left to keep Gundabad perfectly safe, and Motsag has to start making deals.
It was at this time that a party of elves tarried in Gundabad. Their weapons shone with a brilliant luster, and all could see they were wrought of true silver.
And there you go. Motsag just learned that Durin was giving Mithril to the elves.
My anger could not be contained. I had need of the true silver to fuel my war against the orcs and trolls. Was Mithril not the domain of dwarves alone? Here it was in the hands of elves. But not for long.
And that's when it starts to go sideways. And that is a fairly metal last sentence there. When the fighting was ended, my spear too dripped with the blood of my guests.
I claimed the mithril weapons of the elves for my people. I had them reforged into 7 great warhammers.
And we have definitely seen one of those hammers, because we just took it last time we played.
So too did I reforge my people. What once were Longbeards became something new. We became the Greymolls, and I the king of Gundabad.
So this right here was the true start of the Greymaw Rebellion.
I spoke boldly, but I feared the armies of Durin. What secret paths into Gundabad might you know that I did not? I ordered the creation of a mighty golden city in the mountains.
So we get a pretty decent view from up here. I mean, it's not bad. We're just a little ways up. Just watch the first step. Some minor building projects, you know. And here's where deals start being made.
I see now that my son Modvit was possessed of a wicked heart. But I heeded his words, as I should not have done.
Yeah, the second you start suggesting alliances with orcs and trolls, maybe it's time to reconsider your position. But here they are. So now he's telling the story of how basically his combined army of the Grey Mauls and the Orcs and Trolls fought a decisive battle against Durin and his people. And now the Grey Mauls returned triumphant.
See you now that I deny nothing?
These crimes are unforgivable.
So yeah, he's still saying like, hey, look, honest or not,
Finish your tale, Motsog, and be done with it.
there's no atonement for what you just admitted to.
Speak not of deserving, my friend.
And now we're going into 10 years after the fighting started.
This was the plan of Durin, foolhardy as it must have seemed to those who cared for him. It began with his surrender.
So we have Durin the First here in chains, having surrendered to the Grey Mauls. And Motsog is in full-on evil villain monologuing mode at this point. You will die here and none will remember you. I mean, that is a good line. You've got to give him credit for that. I don't think that this can be solved with a dance-off. I think after a decade of war, it's a little bit past that territory.
In this moment of triumph, my Grimhole saw not the danger. An army came by secret paths to free their captive king.
Right, and now here we have Ragnar the Fierce, who's going to be leading the Durin's army in here, because Durin knows secret paths, just like Mozog was afraid of a decade back. It's that center of gravity thing, right? So here we have Durin's people fighting their way through the combined Grey Maul and Orc forces.
Longbeard fought Grey Maul and Orc in the heights of Bir Sahar, and the lanes ran with blood.
I know of your crimes, Mozog.
But you know not of this, Durin, for it was known only to few.
Yeah, he was worried about it, but he went right on ahead and, let anger at Durin sharing Mithril with the elves lead him into rebellion without shoring up his own defenses.
Nine great dragons swept out of the northern skies, raining fire upon the mountainside. The orcs turned their swords upon Longbeard and Grey Maul alike.
What did you think was going to happen when you allied with the orcs and things went slightly sideways? The orcs turn on you. All right, so we have Ragnar, who has a sense of priorities, which is, we've got to find the king. Yeah, right? Like, the stuff they were able to do at this point in time with the engine is just... it's pretty shiny. All right, so in all this chaos, Ragnar's looking for Durin. Big old dragon. Run away!
How many great warriors died to Thoron's claws in Bir Sahar? I cannot say. But dragons were not the only evil sent by Sauron to my city.
We are not dragon riding today. But we were allies. Yeah, it's an orc. Alright, we're just leaving all of this behind and going to look for Durin. Don't mind us. Just sort of sneaking through all the chaos here. And here's the showdown. Durin had picked up a fallen blade and joined the battle, but the orcs were too many and the dwarves too divided. Mozog at this point is just totally gone. Durin's trying to talk sense back into him. And it's Freemill. Oh, hi.
Itself was sundered. The flame of Az-Kadur's was quenched, and he fled. We suffered grievous losses, but so too did Sauron. 5 dragons were slain at our hands. Those that escaped would cower in fear of our weapons forevermore.
Bye, dragon. I'll miss you.
And so concluded the Thunder Battle, and with it, the Greymaul Rebellion. I was defeated, but the dwarves survived.
So Mozog is pointing out that even after all these years, he believes that that Hrimil still is pained by the memory of the wounds that the dwarves' mithril hammers inflicted. So that again ties back into the raid that was in the Gundabad expansion.
Durin knows the rest of the tale. It is not for me to tell.
Okay, now we go pick up Durin's side of the story.
Some trick?
And after all that, Durin is actually now remembering other Durin. Because he's remembering being there at the battle.
Hear then the end of the tale, as I know it to be. The battle was ended, but there were tears still to shed.
I'll get right on that. I mean, doesn't he just look appealing? Yeah, and all the aftermath here, after the dwarves finally came back together to reunite their forces, drive off the dragons, Mozart is realizing he's lost his son, he's lost the backing of his dwarves, and now all right, Durin, it's time. Give me death.
I held the axe that would end your life, Mozart. Even now I can feel the weight of it in my hand.
I remember the tears on my face. Tears so bitter they burned holes in my armor.
So many of our people slain.
I mean, I'm not saying that this could turn into a hot dwarf on dwarf stream here. Which one? New Durin or old Durin? Because they both have pretty cool cloak and armor design. That's not helping any. That's Durin the First and our Durin. They're both Durin. And at this point in time, our Durin has realized that yes, he does legitimately have the memories of the other Durins. And it's the line of Durin that endures. And that line that Durin just delivered there of, if the Grey Mauls are to keep their lives, let them cut their beards short as penance. Or sorry, that Ragna delivered there. Like, that is like that's nasty, man. Like, okay, we'll let you live, but you have to lose the beards. All of you. The Grey Mauls who survived were granted mercy. They were made to shear their beards short as penance for raising weapons against their proper king and for allying with the orcs. And for generations after, no child of a Grey Maul was permitted to wear his or her beard longer than a hand's breadth. Like, for a dwarf, that is just... That's cruel.
The wounds of the Grey Maul rebellion were never forgotten, but Mozog himself disappeared into legend.
And so down here, Mozog basically got a simple little home made to live out his final years and pass in peace into a statue. Because, dwarf stuff.
None others visited in my solitude. And that was just.
That would be really cool in like a dark blue dye if the instead of red you could get dark blue so that the colors looked like sky. I am not going to kill Prince Durin and take his cloak.
deep slumber from which you would not wake. Sleep well, my enemy and my friend. I wish for you pleasant dreams.
And I love the fact that at this point in time, our Durin is so fully remembering during the first memories that they're moving in sync.
Farewell, Mozog. I knew it not at the time, but the first crafter heard my words. He gave to you the dreaming sight, to last until I returned and awakened you.
And that's how we got to Statue Mozog.
And now I have, these many lives later.
Durin gave me my life, both mercy and punishment.
So honestly, that's kind of a little bit awful because Mozog was down here generation after generation being able to watch the dwarves, but not be able to do anything to help them as he, had kind of pulled an atonement move at the end, but couldn't keep down that path. He was basically just left down here to watch. But Durin could hear his voice. So now he's saying that my long penance nears its end, and the prolonged hours of my dream must soon pass away. Soon I will wake, and Mozog will be no more.
I deem you are his close advisor.
So I will walk in the world for only one more day before my long life is spent. So basically when he leaves here, he has one day that's kind of left in his life. When the sun sets on this day, my breath will be stilled and I will disappear from this place, never to return. In that time, I have but one desire. I wish to do whatever my friend commands, for the vigil of so many years has given me this knowledge. Durin is the rightful king of the dwarves. So he has come full circle from rebellion and I'm king into Durin is the rightful king. And I know I have one day left and I'm going to spend it doing what Durin commands me to do.
I am conflicted. I have decided.
So Durin is realizing that he's remembered all of his past lives, and he's taken all that into account. And he's made a decision. Surely Harimil Frostheart will remember the Grey Maul leader who injured her during the Sunder battle. And without the power of the dragon behind him, the Gabalaka will be able to deal with Gorgar. So basically he's putting in front of Mozog like, hey, your last day, what do you think? You want to go fuck up a dragon?
I swear to fight for you, my friend of old, my king, for as long as I am able.
And Mozog is 100% on board with this plan.
It seems the conquest of Gundabad will succeed or fail by nightfall.
All right. We're going to go kill a dragon.
Call for Dweromoot.
So we're going to leave here and go basically attend the meeting of the dwarves as all the heads of them kind of come together. And Durin's going to put forth a battle plan. So we need to go all the way back out of here. I mean, it is, if nothing else, ambitious. All the way up the stairs. There are just so many stairs here. Dwarves, and they're not doing things by half measures. But the end is in sight. All right, so everybody sees me come back out from the passage underground.
What did you discover beyond those secret stairs? How fares the prince?
And we let Broen know, well, Durin's calling a Dweromoot. It's time to assemble the dwarves. So I need to travel to these various locations and round me up some dwarves. Thankfully, I can cheat a little bit and use my return to Noblegate skill to get a head start. And the first dwarf we need to talk to is here, so we're going to talk to Prince Ingor. And let him know that the gathering is afoot.
Dweromoot, eh? So, we come to it at last.
All right, so Prince Ingor is all on board with the call to the war meeting. Next, we can ride to Zidr Nassad and then down.
Yes?
Okay, so up here should be the throne. And there's our buddy glowing. Go get him on side.
Dwaromut. To think I should live to see another.
So he's not as entirely on board, but he's going to come. And our last step is going to be in Glooming Tarn, where we're going to catch up with Emac. So Glooming Tarn, we have Watcher's Roost. And Emac should be down by the bridge where we left him. Here's our old buddy.
Dwaromut. Is that what it sounds like?
And that's also a little bit interesting because we're bringing the stout axes into Dwaromut. So, like, that's an interesting step for Durin to take. Okay, so our next quest is to meet up with the dwarves on this, let's see, Thingfold. So that is going to be... Where is that? Is that in Welkenlofts? Yes, that's in Welkenlofts. So all the way up in the snowy zone. So that is going to be something that will be done next time because it is very much past the time where I was originally planning on playing. But I wanted to keep rolling through this piece of story that we were doing, and it was going well. It wasn't really a great breaking point to go. So let's see who else is on and playing. Looks like Vala. So we will head over and say hi to Vala. Oh, or it is giving a problem trying to do that. Unable to raid at this time, so she might have raids turned off because she's doing something special. Okay. Let's see if we can raid somebody else. Next on the list is somebody that I don't know, so we'll go surprise them. Looks like we have a Jules Quests. All right, no, so apparently it's actually just raiding might be broken at the moment, because I'm giving an error there too. This might just be Twitch being twitchy. There we go. Able to raid Vala.